My poor child died all those years ago to an unknown sickness. All that's left of them to this day is their decaying skull.
Oh, hey, can I have that?
My dead baby's head?
Yeah?
What do you plan to do with it? An elaborate celebration of life ritual?
Well, I was gonna squeeze it until a strange blue mist comes out and then use that blue mist to kill people.
You want to use my baby's head as a weapon? Yeah, okay, I can't see any reason why not.
Ladies, gentlemen, and tarnished of all ages, a while ago I made a build focused around getting the absolute most out of the Regal Omen Baron magical item in Elden Ring. It did an impressive amount of damage and achieved it quite easily, so I thought, hey, there are some other magical items in the game too, even other ones that are dead babies, because, well, the Omen Baron is too. There really are some strange themes going on in this game. Anyways, this item, the Ancestral Infant's Head, outputs a strange mist that turns into little puddles of repeatedly ticking damage on the floor. It scales with your intelligence, and if you really put everything you have into making it stronger, you can make this thing kill bosses all by itself, which it clearly wasn't meant to do because, well, its cap is somewhat limited as well, let's say. It can kill bosses, but even fully built around it isn't easy by any means. It is a struggle, but sometimes you have to struggle for the right to say you killed a difficult enemy with a dead baby's head. Sometimes that badge of honor is worth the challenge, and it results in a somewhat fun and incredibly unusual playstyle that mostly involves just running around trying to convince the AI of your enemy to step in a pool of nasty juice on the floor. That said, in PvP, this doesn't work really that well at all. It has a reasonably long windup, no bonus poise while using it, and the actual ticks of damage against people are way too low for something they have to actively choose to stand in to be hurt by. Obviously, this item isn't meant to be used as a main weapon, it is meant to be used as a tool, and if you use it as a tool to bolster your already intelligence-based build, then you will see great results. You'll be able to mix it in a way to keep people away from you as you fire off ranged spells. But that isn't what I'm doing here. That isn't what you're seeing me do as well. I pick a theme and I stick to it. That's how I do builds. And so while in this video I will be showing you how to get the most out of things that will specifically buff the Ancestral Infant's Head, and using nothing but this item as a source of damage, what you should take away from this is how exactly to put this into your already functional intelligence build. Unless, well, like me, you like pain and squeezing deer baby skulls until they shoot out mist.
Would you please stop saying that?
However, if you do choose to go along this path with me, here is what I've done to make the Ancestral Infant's Head even capable of killing what you see it killing here. First up, the item itself has A intelligence scaling, not as in one single intelligence scaling, but A rank scaling, and if you want this item for yourself, you need to head to the northwestmost point of the Nokron the Eternal City region, to get to which there is a slight bit of parkour that you have to do up and across this railing of this dilapidated temple in order to find the forlorn mother inside, guarding a chest containing this item. Once you have it, we also need things that boost magic damage. This thing doesn't count as a spell or a skill or an attack of any kind, so you can't use a lot of normal avenues of buffing to make it stronger. Instead, you have to focus purely around overall player damage buffs, and specifically magic damage buffs. As well, it's worth mentioning, you can somewhat stack the casts of this item on top of each other to up the damage, but it is less effective than you may hope, and you're generally better off just trying to keep one round of it up and keeping your enemy inside of it as much as possible. To start then, we need the Shining Horned Headband. This armor piece actually increases the damage of this specific item and nothing else by 20%, allowing this to even be possible, to even be capable of doing what it does. To get this, you have to kill the Singing Shaman enemies who wear them by the Ancestral Woods Site of Grace in Nokron the Eternal City, one of which is found just beside the Site of Grace itself. On top of this, because this build isn't based around a weapon skill or anything like that, you can take advantage of things like the Jellyfish Shield, which boosts your overall player damage by 20% for 30 seconds, and this can be found just slightly north of the Foot of the Four Belfries Site of Grace on the west side of the Liurnia region. Then we move on to the talismans and start with the Magic Scorpion Charm Talisman, boosting your magic damage by 12.5% in exchange for a loss and damage negation. Don't worry about that though, as this build winds up with a lot of free slots for managing your damage intake anyways. To get this talisman, you have to progress the questline of Preceptor Saluvis found in Saluvis' Rise. After that is the Ritual Sword Talisman. This boosts all damage by 10% while you're at full HP, which is somewhat hard to do with this as it requires close range, long animations, but as it is one of only 2 talismans that can actually increase the damage of this item, we're gonna use it anyways. To get this talisman, head to the Lux Ruins in the Eltis Plateau and defeat the boss located down the stairs. After that, we have 2 free slots to be used for utility and survival, and my general personal recommendations are the Dragoncrest Greatshield Talisman, which reduces your incoming physical damage by around 20%, and then also the Erdtree's Favor +2 Talisman, which raises your stamina, equip load, and maximum health by a fair amount, all of which are quite useful in general. To get the Dragoncrest Greatshield Talisman, head to the Drainage Channel Site of Grace in the Halig Tree, then head out to the east side down the branches and supports following the path to the top of the building in front of you. Then drop in the hole that's on the roof. Once in here, you can see some prawns on a balcony, kill them and drop down to find a chest containing the well-hidden talisman.
Ah, you sneaky fucking prawns, eh?
For the Erdtree's Favor +2, once Leyndell has become the City of Ash, head to the first site of Grace in the mountaintop of the Giants and turn around to go back up the elevator towards the city. Cross the bridge and head down into the pit at the bottom of the giant staircase. There will be a bunch of scary enemies here, but you can ignore them as you run to the back right corner of the area to find this talisman sitting on a corpse on a building all alone. After this, we have your Flask of Wondrous Physic, with one of your mixtures clearly being the Magic-Shrouding Cracked Tier to boost your magic damage by 20% for 3 minutes after drinking, and then the other slot somewhat depends on the situation. Poise is good, Infinite Mana is also good, do whatever you feel that you need for the individual fight that you are facing. To get the Magic-Shrouding Cracked Tier, you need to defeat the boss located at the Minor Erdtree on the eastern side of Liurnia. And then finally we have a couple of spells to boost the item's damage, one of each kind, so you need both a seal and a staff. However, it doesn't matter if you can wield them properly as we are casting buff spells that have set percentage buffs, and so just use whichever of each you own that weighs the least. The sorcery that we use is Terra Magica, which boosts all magic damage by 35% for 30 seconds in a set area, meaning you have to stay in the circle to keep the buff active the whole time. To get this sorcery, you need to get to the Academy Crystal Cave on the western side of the Liurnia region, which takes 2 Stone Sword keys to enter, and once you have defeated the boss inside, there is a lift that will take you up a tower where you can find the spell itself inside of a chest. The incantation is one that almost everyone uses at this point, and for a damn good reason. It's Golden Vow. This raises all damage by 15% and raises defense by 10% for 80 seconds after you cast it, and as a result, it is just one of the more valuable things that you can have and use in the entire game. To get Golden Vow, just head to the Corpse Stench Shack on the eastern side of Mount Gelmir, and you'll find it waiting to be picked up. With that, we have covered all of the equipment required to make it work, so what are the attributes to make it all shine? Well, of course, the item itself scales with intelligence, so aim for 80 of that to begin with. 60 vigor is ideal, but anywhere above 40 is manageable. 14 strength lets you wield the Jellyfish Shield in 2 hands to apply the buff. 25 faith lets you use our incantation. You want enough endurance to be at least at medium equip load with all of this stuff and your armor of choice on. And then finally, any remaining points can go into mind to increase the number of times that you can use the item before you have to drink a flask and take a break. With all of this, you have a mostly functional way to use an item never intended to be your main damage source as, well, a main damage source. It has its limits, of course. It won't be beating the hardest things in the game by any means, but the fact that you can push this singular magic item this hard is incredible in itself. And I love getting to see exactly how far you can push crazy tiny things in games like this. In the end, the most important thing to remember is that realistically, if you want to use this item, it should be as a secondary part of your build if you want to be effective. A close range zoning tool to pair with your longer range options that you will naturally have inbuilt to an intelligence build. And so your usage of it in normal circumstances will have vastly different results than you're seeing here. But this is my little love letter to the tools of Elden Ring, the reusable magic damage baby head that spits out spirit vapor and uses it to kill people, because just as a concept, that is one of the silliest things I have ever heard. How do you feel about using this as a full-on build? Are you going to take inspiration from this and just work the infant head into your general pre-existing playstyle? Like if you like the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.